All right, everyone, so part 1 of this series was about pre-writing, part 2 of this series was about research, and then today we're going to be talking about part 3 of the academic writing process, which is outlining. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jenna Van Mourik. I'm an avid reader, a fiction writer, and a book reviewer, and I'm also an English tutor at the collegiate writing level, which is technically the real job. In this series, I'm breaking down my personal academic essay writing strategy, which is how I've approached essay writing for nearly every single essay that I've been assigned since junior high, and this is also how I tutor my students as well. To show you how this process actually works, I'm actually going to be writing an essay with you and building it from the ground up. We're going to be looking at a real essay that I've actually written for one of my courses that I've turned in and gotten an A on and gotten instructor feedback from. For those of you who are watching these videos as they come out, you might not have time to wait for the full series if you have a due date coming up, and for those of you that would like to have an even more personal resource, I am proud to announce that I am offering a free PDF downloadable resource. What I'm offering is a 25-page workbook titled Write Your Essay. You can use this workbook to plan, draft, or complete virtually any academic writing project, whether it's a research project, a literary analysis paper, a personal essay, or anything in between. All you have to do is subscribe to my author newsletter at www.authorjennavanmourik.com. You'll be emailed a short welcome letter thanking you for subscribing and giving you the super secret password to my resources tab on my website. You'll find all of these academic writing helps under the For Students tab over there, and this free workbook will be available there, as well as some other posters, infographics, and other things that are more specifically focused on certain parts of the writing process and academic writing. It really is that easy to get, but if you'd like to hear me talk through this process more in depth and physically teach you and show you how this works and how you can apply this workbook and the steps included in it to a real life essay, then be sure you keep on watching these videos. So I like to think of outlining as a form of battle strategy for writers. It's your plan of attack for how you're going to knock out this draft and beat writer's block. In my opinion, this is true not only of academic writing, but also of fiction writing or virtually any form of writing. I'm a huge believer in outlines. I know outlining isn't for everyone, but for me, this is personally a part of my process, and I think it's really pivotal, especially when it comes to academic writing, because you're going to want to make sure, especially if you're writing an argumentative piece, that your piece has structure, it's logical, it develops well, and each point builds one on top of the other. And a great way to ensure that is by outlining. So I'm a hardcore believer in point-by-point outlining, and the best way that I can show you guys what this means is just to demonstrate it in my own outline for my biblical fiction research paper. This is the research project that I've been working on with you guys for the duration of this series. Full disclosure, I've already completed this essay, I've turned it in, I received an A grade and feedback from my instructor, and I've improved upon it since then, but I saved every single draft and outline to show you guys so that I could use it to create this template, this series, if you will, on academic essay writing. Why do you need an outline? An outline will give your essay a planned structure, improving the flow of the finished product. So your final draft will read more smoothly, readers will be able to sense a logical progression of thought, and it will overall keep your essay from being rambly and disorganized. Outlines can also be useful for your paragraphs to ensure that each point is well developed in your paragraphs. And what I mean by that is going as far down to detail and outline your paragraph structure, which may sound a little bit over the top. It is for some people, but it is a good exercise. So when I'm talking about paragraph structure, I'm going to be talking about how each paragraph needs to have its own purpose. So a good strategy for an essay is to have an introduction paragraph, body paragraphs, and then a conclusion paragraph. And you should have a body paragraph for each of your subpoints. You can see in my outline here, I have my introduction paragraph section, my body paragraph 1, scroll down a bit, body paragraph 2, body paragraph 3, and so on, all the way down until you get to the conclusion, which is going to be down there. And my outline for my conclusion paragraph is a little bit small, but we'll get there. And when you're going to be outlining your paragraphs and what you want to include in those, you might want to include things like, what will the topic sentence be? What is the point of the paragraph? What quotes or sources could be useful in that section of your paper? And what transition sentence or conclusion sentence will be at the end of that paragraph? So remember, the more detailed you are with your outline, the less work you'll have to do when drafting, and it'll be really easy to just plug it in and fill in the dots, fill in the blanks, and boom, you've got a finished first draft. I actually have a lovely little graphic on paragraph structure right up here, so I'll kind of pop that image up there for you guys. If you guys struggle with paragraph organization or paragraph structure, or if that's feedback that you've gotten from an instructor or a professor where they've been like, this was good, but your paragraphs weren't very strong, I highly recommend downloading this. It's available for free on the For Students tab of my resources page on my website at www.authorjennavanmourik.com. So here you can see, I'm just going to go very briefly through my outline with you. So you can see here I've titled it Research Paper Outline, very sophisticated. And here I have my introduction. In my introduction, I put my title, I put my hook, so that's how I want to grab the reader's attention, and then I also put my thesis statement. So when I'm going to be drafting, I can very easily just copy and paste this stuff, and it's a paragraph done. For my body paragraph 1, to help me stay on task and on topic, I've put the paragraph topic. So what's that paragraph going to be about? That'll help me form a topic sentence later. And I've also put in the question to answer. So the question I'm going to be answering for my audience in this paragraph is, what is biblical fiction? And then if you recall from our research video last week, I've actually taken and I've gone through that research and I've copied all the different quotes from the different sources and authors that could be useful in this paragraph. And I might not use all of them. Of course, I've left a little note here to check my citations, but I might not use all of them, or I might end up paraphrasing some of them. But the point is, I've gone through those quotes, those resources that I wrote down and that I annotated in last week's video. If you want to see that, check that out. I'll leave the link to this full writing playlist for academic writing below. But I've just organized it right there, and now I have it to refer to, so that when I'm writing body paragraph 1, history of biblical fiction, or what biblical fiction is, I can be like, oh yeah, here's all the sources that back up my points for that section. Same thing for body paragraph 2, which is the criticism and analysis of recent biblical fiction, beginning with Anita Diamant's Red Tent. The question I'll be answering is, what is the criticism of Red Tent? And I've also used and included sources for this section that will be useful. And then specific from the criticism of the Red Tent by Simone Safian. All of those quotes are going to be there as well. This is my bulkiest paragraph, so you might find that you need more than one paragraph to firmly discuss and delve into one point. You may need to break it up into several smaller paragraphs, which I believe I ended up doing for this section, but you get the idea. Body paragraph 3, the topic is going to be a demand for inspirational biblical fiction. So I know in my head that that is going to be something I need to incorporate in my topic sentence for that paragraph. I'm going to talk about, how did the Red Tent begin a new genre? Where did the demand come from? And what are the problems with that Red Tent? This will really help and ensure that each paragraph in your essay has a specific purpose. You're not going off topic. You're not being illogical in your argument. Everything builds one point on top of another. And that's really what I believe is so important for outlining. Again, you can find all this information and so much more in the outlining section of my free 25-page workbook, Write Your Essay, available for free download on my website with a newsletter subscription. And again, it just goes on, the same pattern repeats. Misu Andrews' success and the importance of scriptural fiction. Question to answer: what awards has Misu won? Why is she a successful author? Why should my audience care about Misu Andrews? Why should that matter in my paper? Why is biblical fiction with an inspirational thread such a top seller now, and what has changed in the market between the time that the Red Tent was published and the time like today, present day, present perspective? And it just goes on and on. I do want to really quickly show you though one thing here, and I believe it is in this paragraph, body paragraph 3. This sentence actually came from my free writing session in part 1 of my academic writing process, which was pre-writing. And this came from a brainstorming session. I saved this in my notebook where I kept all of my handwritten brainstorming notes and ideas. And I was actually able to incorporate this into a sentence in the final version of this research paper, which you'll see when you see the final draft. This made it in to the final draft. this made it into the paper and it's still there to this day. So that's just another example of how free writing and pre-writing and brainstorming and all that stuff in part 1 can really just stick with you throughout the entire process and actually become useful later. So that's really cool. So there you have it. Those are all of my best tips for researching and how I personally outline and organize my research when it comes to preparing and completing an academic writing project. In this series, we've already covered pre-writing, research, and now outlining. And next week will be the biggest part of this, of writing an academic paper, actually writing it. That's right. Stay tuned next week for when we talk about drafting. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. And if you absolutely just can't wait for the rest of this series because maybe you have a writing project that's due tomorrow instead of in a couple of weeks when this series continues to come out, then don't forget to download the free 25-page workbook, Write Your Essay, via my website today. That's www.authorjennavanmourik.com. The workbook is full of all kinds of activity sheets and helpful information, definitions, and examples to make the approach to academic writing so much easier, whether you're doing a full-on research paper or just a short proposal for something. You don't want to miss out on this resource, and again, it's free, so why wouldn't you go take a look at it? All you have to do is sign up for the newsletter, head over to the resources tab, enter the password that comes in the welcome letter from a newsletter, and the world is yours. My name is Jenna Van Mourik. I'm an inspired writer and an inspirational fiction reader who reads, writes, and lives for Jesus. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button on your way out so that you never miss when I post a new video. I post 2 videos every week to my YouTube channel here. One is always going to be a writing video, whether that's going to be fiction writing or academic writing, as it is in this case, and the other will be a reading/bookish fun video as well. So if either of those or both are something that you're interested in, then be sure to stick around for more. You can find me on social media at Jenna Van Mourik or on my website, like I already said, www.authorjennavanmourik.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!